Hello. Hello. It's it's a sad day that I'm joining you. We've just all received news of the passing of Queen Elizabeth. We are so saddened. I'm here in the United States, and we are so sad. I send my deepest personal condolences to all of those in Britain and the Commonwealth learning this very surprising news today that Queen Elizabeth II has died. It's um, it's very sad for so many. She's so beloved. And if you follow my channel on YouTube or on Instagram, you'll know that I was raised by a very proper British mother. God rest her soul. She died a proud British subject, and I've spent much of my life in England. And although I'm only half British, I feel such a loss today, as so many do, not only in Britain and the Commonwealth, but around the world. Someone like me here in the eastern part of the United States is feels a real sense of loss. But I just thought that we would just take a moment to honor a legacy and to try to put it a little bit into perspective. We talked about during the Queen's 70th Jubilee that we just seemed like we just celebrated that. And, preparing for the video I did about that, it was so exciting to just learn about her legacy. And let me just put this in perspective for everyone that this is a life and a service to her country that we need to really celebrate. And this is a time to really think about etiquette and not think about petty things, but to just celebrate this extraordinary life that was so well lived, completely in service to her country. So, at the young age of 21, you know, Queen Elizabeth was crowned, Queen Elizabeth II, in England at 21 years old, and that was in 1953. It was one of the first major televised events that this was in Britain. It was the entire coronation. It was a huge event on TV, something like this for the first time. And that was an incredibly big deal. She, led this nearly flawless life of service with her beloved husband, Prince Philip, whom we lost last year. And, she was married to Prince Philip for over 70 years. And so the reign of Queen Elizabeth. So let me tell you, she reigned 70 years, over 70 years. The only person in world history, in the history of our world, that reigned longer was the boy king, the son king, King Louis XIV of France, king, from Versailles. Louis XIV he reigned for 72 years. However, where Queen Elizabeth took the throne at age 21, Louis XIV was 4 years old. He was a boy. So you just think in the weight, the legacy of the significance of reigning second longest reigning monarch in the history of the world. And you think she was, of course, the longest reigning British monarch. And so she met with 15 prime ministers during her reign, starting with Winston Churchill. And just 2 days ago, she met with the brand new prime minister of Britain, Ms. Truss. So, and I did read an interesting little fact. I think the New York Times put this out, that just to put this all into perspective and why we should just be in such awe and celebrating this life of service, that her first prime minister that Queen Elizabeth met with was Winston Churchill. Now, Winston Churchill was born in 1874. And just this week, the Queen met with the latest Prime Minister, Liz Truss, and Ms. Truss, Prime Minister Truss, was born in 1975. So you've got almost a 100-year reign from the births of the prime ministers, Winston Churchill at 1874 and Ms. Truss at 1975. Just gives you an idea of the the broadness, the length, the longevity of this reign of Queen Elizabeth. So yes, she was married for 74 years to her beloved uh, Prince Philip. And so I looked up a few different things that what's going to happen, because we need to employ our etiquette. And while I've done several videos about etiquette during funerals and when you're losing people, and the important thing is to remember that you are celebrating someone's life. And in this case, we are celebrating an extraordinary life and service to her country. And that is foremost. And we're wondering about where people sit at funerals and if someone will come or somebody won't come. I know I've had some friends say, will Harry and Meghan be there, or what's going to happen? Those are things that we hope will be worked out, and we hope. It is said that the Queen really hoped that her two grandsons could mend fences. So let's hope that good things can come out of the loss of the Queen. So upon her death, as per the royal protocol, her son has become the king. Yeah, he is now the king. And so that happens immediately upon the death of the queen, of the reigning monarch. And so I'm also immediately within 10 minutes of the official announcement. So the next heir, so King Charles now is the king upon his mother's death. He issued a statement and let everyone know that his beloved mother died peacefully today at Balmoral in Scotland, which was beloved to her, befitting that she died there, and someone in a place that she loved so much. She was such an outdoor enthusiast and loved to ride her horses there. So she so now Prince Charles has, now King Charles has issued a statement. And then what happens is the prime minister issues a statement, which she has. And now that means that the flags across Britain and the Commonwealth, and I bet many places in the world, will be lowered to half mast within 10 minutes of these announcements. So it's really very interesting when you see how the protocol and how this protocol comes in, because if you remember when Prince Philip died last year, that he had planned his funeral, and all the ceremonies, everything that would be taking place had been planned for years. So these are things that have been planned. There is tradition. There is a tradition now that Charles is now the King Charles immediately upon his mother, the Queen's death, and as it has been for 1,000 years. So this is the weight of the history. This is the legacy, 1,000 years. So this is why you can help us understand, mere mortals, that the royals and their role and in the history of the world, and how that the Queen is said that to have been a great proponent of modernizing things. There was talk that they were sort of slimming down the royal family a bit, and trying to keep it modern and to keep the monarchy modern and relevant and helpful to the people and serving the people as is intended for 1,000 years. So that's really amazing. And it is said that I've read that her funeral upon her death, Queen Elizabeth, that it will take place about 10 days after her death. So we will be seeing the developments there, how that will happen. I did even read that there were plans that if the Queen were to die at Balmoral, that her body would be taken by the train back to London. So we'll see if that happens, if what I read was true. So her plans, they do have these plans, have been in place, I'm sure, for many many probably years. The queen died at 96 years old, so I think when you get to those ages, you do have things planned out. And so she will be buried. The plan is, unless things change, the plan that I've read, she will be buried at St. George's Chapel in Windsor, which is also where she is beloved to her, Windsor, specifically in King George VI Memorial Chapel. And she will be laid to rest there where her father, King George VI, is laid to rest. The Queen Mother, her mother, is laid to rest there, as is her sister, Princess Margaret. And it is said that when the Queen is laid to rest there, then her beloved Prince Philip will also be moved into the same vault and finally laid to rest permanently there with her at Windsor. So that's nice that they'll be together. And just think back of reigning, serving your country. Every single day you get up and you're serving your country for 70 years, second only to Louis the 14th. And I looked up, Queen Elizabeth met me as an American. She met with 13 US presidents, starting with Harry Truman. She met everyone but Lyndon Johnson, and that was there was a good reason for that. So she's met with so many people and seen so many different things across her 70 years of service. As you can just imagine, the different things she's seen, and she's kept this together because she had this 1,000 years of history behind her. So I just wanted to just take a moment today to just pay tribute to this life well lived in service to her country. And now, upon her death, now we start saying, God live the king. So to King Charles. So thank you. If you tuned in, if you have any comments or questions, I'm happy to take anything. And it's just this is a really sad day, and it was at 96. You think, is this, well, it's unexpected today. I think she just met with the new prime minister this week. So my heart breaks for the family. And please remember our etiquette, that we are respectful of the family's wishes. And if you're suffering of loss of someone yourself, just remember that it goes for us as well, that you just respect the family's wishes, give everyone some space, let bygones be bygone, and just celebrate that life. Remember, keep the focus on this life so well lived. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for tuning in. Be kind, and God save the king. Thank you.